Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. It's Queen Sugar. Today I have a pick a card reading that looks into where this connection is going. And we're going to go through the cards and just see, based on current energy, what is the vibe of where this connection is planning to go, and any additional messages Spirit might have for you at this time regarding the connection, or just like anything that they want to, pinpoint for you. So take a moment to just kind of clear your energy, clear your mind, clear your thoughts, and just free yourself from today's schedule and all the things, just temporarily, and allow your spirit guides to guide you to the pile or piles that best represent the messages that they have for you at this time regarding this connection. Pile number 1 is the Ten of Pentacles. Pile number 2 is the Lovers. And then pile number 3 is the Two of Cups. Once you've selected your once you selected your pile, please click the timestamp below to watch your portion of the video. As always, I appreciate the love and the support, and I hope you all enjoy. Hello, pile number 1. This will be for those that selected the Ten of Pentacles card. So we're going to go through your cards and see what messages Spirit has for you regarding to where this connection will go, and also just any general messages that they might want to share with you at this time connected to this person, to this relationship. So your first card is number 9, Passion. Your second card is the Three of Pentacles. So this is your tarot card. And then we have Seduction, which works well with this Passion card. We have Final Shot. Now is the time. The clock is ticking. If you never shoot your shot, then you will always wonder what if. Children. Children are a significant factor in your love life. This may signify the desire of them or someone's inner child needing attention. Memories. Someone is walking down memory lane at this time. It's okay to reminisce about the past by looking at old photos or messages. Wedding. This situation involves marriage. There may be an upcoming wedding, your own or someone else's. This card also signifies validation that you will get married. More than friends. This person may be just more than a friend. Someone in this friendship is seeking a romantic partnership now. Friendly reminder. Many great relationships start off with friendship. And then your last card is Hanging Out. Who doesn't love spending time with their crush or boo? Dating doesn't always have to be fancy dinners. Spending quality time with someone can be romantic, fun, and chill. Okay. So this pile really seems juicy. It's like a juicy pile. For some of you, this person is either, someone you work with, or a friend that turned into a lover, or that a friend that is trying to turn into a lover. And that's just for some of you. So if that applies, great. If it doesn't, just let it fly by. So let's get into the connection. Initially, there was a vibe of starting off casually, perhaps obviously as friends or as co-workers, and over time, however, subtle hits of mutual interest kind of emerged, leading to spending more time together in a casual manner, of course. And as you both got to know each other better, feelings might have developed. And I sensed this dynamic where one person was ready to move forward, while the other might have been hesitant or not fully committed yet. For instance, if the relationship started out as a friendship and one person expressed romantic interest, the other might have, hesitated to express that same like or interest, and that could have been due to the fear of jeopardizing the relationship, or jeopardizing like the the working relationship, depending on like if you're in the same department, and there might have been like a certain protocol that has to be followed when it comes to that. And so I do see this person just really in this space of having developed strong feelings for you, and just like nervous in the beginning of like how to express that. And I noticed that too. This realization marked a shift where they decided to just really embrace their emotions and want to share them openly with you. And keep in mind that, you know, the roles can be reversed. So you could have been the one that was hesitant to express their feelings, and now you're like ready to express like what you're feeling as well. And honestly, this can also symbolize like this momentum of like this next phase or direction of the connection, where if it was one-sided at some point, it's moving to where both parties have expressed their true feelings for each other. And you know, they're no one is no longer afraid to like communicate what they're feeling and what they're thinking when it comes to the connection. And I do foresee like more dates and meaningful time spent together, you know, showing that both of you are prioritizing each other and keeping the relationship exciting, keeping it, you know, going. There's this deep level of intimacy between you two, you know, marked by the seduction and the passion card. And there's obviously this physical attraction. And it seems like when you all are together, it's like you can create your own world where you two just exist. It's like you can literally zone out and only focus on each other. Like things could be happening in the world and you're like, oh, there was like World War III while we were together. I didn't even notice, type of thing. With this scenario, there's this not even scenario, but then it's like, this is probably for a couple of you, but this final shot card is like really sticking out to me. But I just get this sense of, you know, now or never. And both of you understand that this is the time to like make it happen. This is the time to do it and make it happen. And if it doesn't happen, then you gotta let it go. But there's like a couple of you as well that I'm picking up on, where maybe you all were together at some point, or there was a time where you thought about it and then it didn't happen, and then you kind of reconnected again and then it didn't happen. But this time it's like, this is the final shot. So for instance, if you, like I said, if you dated in the past and it wasn't successful, but you were able to rekindle things recently, you know, both of you are wondering like, is this the right time for this love to bloom? And it's essential to, you know, really think about that, because Spirit is like urging you and this person to really confirm, like, do you all want to be together? Are you ready to fully commit to this connection, or just move on completely? And Spirit wants you to explore this connection. They really do. But there's this energy of like there needing to be like a deadline, which can be healthy. And it's not saying like, oh, if you don't propose to me by May 1st, you know, I'm done with you. Like, you don't have to say it aggressive like that, but more so, if you're aiming for marriage and a family, discussing these goals with your partner and aligning the expectations can be critical to just see what happens and what comes of it. Because once you have said it and this discussion has been had, and you don't see that progression, you don't see that movement, then that can give you your answer. Or if they're like, yes, I want the same thing as you, and I'm looking to get engaged within the next 6 months, that gives you a time frame of like, okay, so there's something for us, you know, within the next 6 months. Obviously, if it doesn't pan out that way, then you can leave. But if you both share the same vision, communicate your feelings and establish a timeline of like what makes sense for the connection. And should the relationship not meet your needs by that agreed upon time frame, it may be time to move on to part ways. However, you know, just for all the folks that I was kind of picking up on, the cards definitely suggest that there is movement forward. There is a way for this connection to elevate and to grow and to lead to the next level. And success comes from the mutual commitment, the readiness, and also just that form of communication and being open. And I love that your like pile card, the Ten of Pentacles, it matches the vibe of both spirit guides, like on both teams, are working behind the scenes to pull this together. And you see it in the Three of Pentacles, like how the ladies are giving their pentacles to the woman in the middle. And so I feel like Spirit is saying that they're working behind the scenes to get you all together. They want you to be together, but of course it just doesn't pan out and work out the way it's supposed to in the 3D. Then it's okay if it doesn't happen. However, everybody is saying, like, spiritually, this is the last go round, right? So either this person comes to correct, they come with the commitment, they come with the ring, they come with the plan. For those that are, when we talked about like the co-worker and the friendship piece, this person has to be willing and open to be expressive and share what they're feeling and how they want to pursue you and what they want in the future with you. Because if not, then it's kind of like it's just going to be a memory of the past because there wasn't any movement. And so I feel like most people in this that pick this pile, your person just has to commit to making that move and just doing it, shooting their shot, because it's the last round. There's only a few seconds left on the timer. So what are they going to do? So long story short, I do see significant movement as long as the person is willing to be expressive, to communicate, and to just be open. So that's what I got for this pile. I hope you all enjoyed your reading and that it resonated with you, and you do see the positive shifts and the positive changes within your connection, and it does lead to long-term commitment, an engagement, a marriage, a baby, moving in, whatever it is that your heart desires. I do wish that happens for you, especially if you all have been putting in the work in with this connection as well as the other person. So I will end it here, and I wish you all the best. Bye. Hello, pile number 2. This will be for those that selected the lovely Lovers card. So we're going to go through your cards and see what Spirit has to say in terms of where this connection is going and any additional messages that they might have for you at this time. Okay, so your first card is number 40, Love. It's funny, I just got a necklace that looks very similar to this. Okay, your tarot cards are the Four of Wands and the Five of Pentacles. We have Blind Spot, Embrace, Vivid Dreams. Pay attention to your dreams. As the connection deepens, your dreams become more pronounced and full of answers. Self-love. As you love who you are, you become more confident in your relationships with yourself and with yourself. Make a move. The time is now. Someone is planning to take action, or it's time for you to make the move. Lover's Lane. This is the time when intimacy and sexual healing are needed and desired. Take the time to blow off some steam in the bedroom. Romance. Your dating life is about to get exciting. Enjoy the company of your special someone or potential partners. Sisterhood. The value of true sisterhood is priceless. The support and guidance of someone's sister or female friend, whether physically or spiritually, could be considered. Okay, put this over there. Let's see if I can get them all to fit within the frame. Okay, So let's get into the cards here. You know, I'm quite drawn to this particular set of cards. The Five of Pentacles and this blind spot, both of those cards. And I sense that there might be an initial uncertainty about what someone's genuinely desired, like what someone genuinely desires from this relationship. And this uncertainty, it could stem from past relationships or experiences that didn't meet expectations. Like, for example, if someone constantly felt undervalued in a previous relationship, they might come to expect, or, you know, kind of like, how do I write this? Like, just basically expect less in relationships. Like, they expect them to not be as fulfilling because that's what they're used to. And when they encounter a truly fulfilling relationship, it's like this revelation of realization to say, like, wait, what is this? Like, what is this love, this beautiful connection, this romance? Like, what is going on here? And, you know, the fact that your card is the Lovers, it aligns beautifully with the theme of love pervading in this reading. And I feel that, and with that self-love too, first going back to that first point of like, this person might have had moments where they didn't fully love themselves, and it showed, and that's why they were in the relationships that they were in. And then that's why when they get into something that is fulfilling, that is healthy, it's like, wait a minute, what is this? Can I have something like this? Should I have something like this? And so this theme within your pile of love, like of love, is, you know, it's resonating for like both of you. Like, you represent love, and then they represent this energy of like being okay to receive love. And you can also feel like there are moments where you feel like you have to strengthen your self-love and self-esteem at times. But overall, you have this light about yourself that just shines love. And when people are connected to you or interact with you, they feel it. Even in moments where you might not feel it for yourself fully, like, they still feel that love. I also see, like, it appears that this is a season, you know, of love for you, not just in terms of romantic connections, but just also how you approach your self-love and self-worth within your relationships. And the self-love, like I mentioned before, it's like, it's playing a critical role here, just in this relationship, but just like all relationships that you all will encounter, whether they're platonic, work-related, whatever. And when, you know, of course, when you value and respect yourself, you set a certain standard of how others should treat you. And it's like establishing this healthy boundary that ensures you're being treated fairly, you know, and with the dignity that you deserve. And I get that this self-assurance and self-respect creates a foundation of confidence and strength that, you know, radiates more through, like, more and more through your connections with folks, but also just like how you show up in the world. Like how I mentioned, like, the people already see you as a light of love, but now as you're building on your self-confidence and your self, you know, love and respect, you shine even brighter. So that's like one big thing that I'm picking up here. So let's kind of get into a little bit more about the connection itself. You know, actually, I'm channeling one more thing, so I'm gonna just speak on that, and then we'll get into like where is the connection going. But if this is, you know, for you or the person, but if you find yourself in a relationship where you're constantly feeling you're undervalued or unappreciated, it can have detrimental effects on your well-being, on your self-love, and how you view things in life. And so when I look at this Five of Pentacles card and this blind spot card, it's kind of like, I look at this side as being the side of like not having a lot of self-love, right? And then once you unlock that self-love piece, you realize, like, wait a minute, that's where all of the things I want and deserve are. They're on the other side of this, right? And so there might have been moments of blind spots where you didn't see it because you were in it for so long, or that was your experience all the time. Like how I kind of mentioned, if the person has always been in a relationship where they feel undervalued, they're not going to really notice the perks of being in a relationship where they do feel that value, because they're so used to not being valued. But, you know, when you continuously accept treatment that falls short of your worth it literally will chip away at your self-esteem and your self-love and your confidence. And so this, imbalance, obviously it affects your mental but also your emotional health. And so I feel like Spirit is just saying, if you're ever in a situation, whatever, job related, romantic, family, whatever, know when to evaluate the situation, the connection, and know when you need to walk away, or like if you need to address something, then walk away. But the Spirit just really wanted to share that message. So that might be significant for some of you. And it might not be necessarily connected to the connection per se, but it could be connected to like a job or, to some other friendship that you might have that needs that attention right now. But anywho, so for some of you, the message resonates as confirmation that, with all the cards that I see here, you are already in the relationship where you are truly valued and appreciated, with this love, with the romance, with the embrace, just all these uplifting cards. This is recognition of like your worth within the relationship, and it's a significant milestone, and it's indicating like this connection is progressing towards the next level of commitment, right? Such as an engagement or a deeper level of partnership. And with the Four of Wands being here, this is a card of like union. It's a card of marriage. It represents a lot of different things, but this is a solid card to have in a reading if you are learning or wanting to know like where is a connection going, because it's showing you that it's leading to a long-term commitment, which is great. And being in this relationship where you feel value is a transformative experience, because it shows you that you feel safe, right? Notice how like she's embracing him and he's embracing her. Obviously, this is a more intimate card, but it's still this sense of security. And, there's this trust, there's this mutual respect, and that, lays a really strong foundation for a lot of relationships. And when both partners are recognized and appreciated for their worth and for their value and what they're putting into the connection, it creates this harmonious environment where love can truly flourish, because there's this open line of communication, there's this open line of connection. And the notion of like, moving forward to the next big step in terms of like an engagement, it's a shared vision between you two, and it's something that both of you are planning to build towards, like this higher level of commitment and building this future together. And then it's a testament to the strength of like how deep this bond goes, and just like that mutual desire to really solidify this relationship into something more official or committal, if that makes sense. I do see this phase of relationship deepening more in terms of the connection, but also just in like the day-to-day actions. They're just demonstrating more care, more respect, more support, and that's on both ends. Like both of you are doing this for each other, and it's not saying it wasn't done before, but there's this sense of it leveling up. And I get that there's conversations, healthy conversations that help you kind of navigate challenges together, but also celebrate the successes and the growth of each individual, each person, and the connection. Just speaking on the sisterhood card, I feel that spiritually, their spirit guide is assisting you and assisting the connection as much as possible behind the scenes, like in ways you don't even know and wouldn't understand until, like, for example, let's say they do have a sister and maybe you don't interact with the sister as much, and so she's doing stuff behind the scenes, and then when you all come together, whether that's marriage or whatever the big milestone is, she says something and it clicks, like, wait a minute, I remember I felt this nudge one day, around the same thing that she just mentioned. Like, let's say, for example, you went into a grocery store and you heard this song and it just really stood out to you. You never heard it before, and you're just like, wow, why is this song making me emotional? Why is this song, so powerful? And then maybe like 2 years later, you and this person get together, you get married, or, you're getting ready to get married, and the sister comes along like, oh my gosh, let me play my favorite song. And then she plays that song that played in the grocery store. And you're like, wait a minute, that was the song that played that I got emotional about. So it was like, there's going to be a moment where you receive a signal or a sign that it was her, or like whoever this feminine energy here it was her that was like helping you all. It's going to come out in some way, whether it's their mother, their sister, an aunt. It could have been a loved one that passed on. There's going to be some aha moment for sure. But overall, this message indicates that, you know, you are on the right path in your relationship, where both parties are valued and really cherish each other. And it's leading to like this natural progression towards, like I said, this deeper connection, this deeper commitment and lasting love. But it's all about making sure that you keep the core of self-love, self-respect, self-worth, you know, in the center of your life. Also, that they keep that for themselves as well too, because if you value and respect yourself, you're not going to tolerate the less of, you know, and the less not the less, and what am I trying to say, like, you're not going to tolerate the BS. You're not going to tolerate the bare minimum. That's what I was trying to say, the bare minimum. And when you have that mindset, and when you show up in that way, where like, I only accept the best of the best, you know, that's what you receive. And it's not, some people might say like, oh, that's putting too much pressure on a person. It's like, no, it's not putting too much pressure on a person. It's more so saying, because I treat myself with love and respect, and I treat myself of quality, how dare I allow someone to not do that and show it for me in that way. And that goes for that person as well too. Both of you are treating each other with the love and the respect that you deserve and that you require. And that's what makes this connection work. That's what makes the romance thrive. That's what makes the intimacy, you know, great, because you're attentive to each other's needs. You're attentive to each other's wants, and you're on the same page. There's that alignment. But when there's not a balance of that, of course, you know, there's that lack. And then that becomes where there starts to show that sadness, the, you know, disagreements, and just not being aligned anymore. So that's just really important that Spirit wanted to point out. But yeah, I really do feel like this feminine energy, she's going to communicate with you a lot through dreams, and she shows up a lot more than you think. And so when she reveals herself, and when she like does something that's going to let you know it was her, it's going to be an aha moment, and you're going to like just laugh it off, because you're just like, wow, it really was you that was helping us get through this. Alrighty, so that is the end of this pile. It's so funny, when I looked up at the timer, it was 15, and 15, 1 plus 5 equals 6, and then you have the Lovers, which is one and a well, here it's like the Roman numerals, but it's just interesting like how I think about the numbers. But yeah, how befitting is that? So the number 6 is a significant number for this connection as well. So I wish you all the best. Thank you so much for tuning in. Feel free to check out other videos on my channel. Thumbs up this video and leave a comment below. And have a great rest of your day or evening. Hello, pile number 3. This will be for those that selected the 2 of Cups. So we're going to go through your cards and see what messages Spirit has for you in terms of like where this connection is heading, and just like any other general messages that we pick up from the cards. So your first card here is number 43, Healing. For some reason they wanted me to focus on the number 8 too, so that might be a significant number for the connection. Okay, your tarot cards are Justice, the Daughter of Wands, or actually let's do it this way. Oh, this is like painting the story already. Very interesting. Okay, we have Transformation, Courting. This period of development towards a romantic relationship is important. This time will help you both see if marriage is in the cards. It's a vibe. Enjoy the good vibes and energy with this person because they are like no other. Spiritual awakening. Your partner is sensing that there is something profoundly important about this connection. An apology. Apologizing might be a crucial step in preserving this relationship. It can also provide an opportunity to address certain behaviors or concerns. Old feelings. Sometimes those feelings never go away. Someone has their mind, someone has you on their mind, or maybe you are the one that has someone special on your mind. Words of affirmation. Never be afraid to express your true feelings with the one you love. Seize the opportunity to let someone know that they are missed or loved. This may be yours or your person's love language. And that's funny, these are both literally from the same scene. And then the last card, oh wow. And that's very befitting because in this card, I'll explain later. Proposal. There is a desire to take this connection to the next level. Are you ready? So for some of you, that's literally your answer, where this connection is going. Okay. So let me move this over here. I really like how this pile is set up, like how it's progressing. I do pick up like a unique energy with it though, for like a few of you, but we'll talk about it. Let me adjust the camera just a little bit, just so you can see all the cards. Okay. So, like I mentioned, this was a unique energy that I'm picking up. This is, an interesting pile. I'm getting like separate vibes, so I'll try to break it up so it makes sense. So listen to both and see which applies, or maybe you receive messages from both. But the overall theme for both connections is there is a next step, there is a next phase here for the connection, and it will be a transformative one, and it is one that comes where you must be confident about where it's going to go and be committed to it. Right? So that card, here it is, where it says, are you ready? It's kind of like, you got to be ready before you see it. You can't just say like, oh, I'll be ready when, I see it. I don't know how to word it. Like I'm trying to give like a scenario. It's basically saying like, hey, if you're ready for something, you have to already be ready for it. Like, you have to be okay with it coming in before it actually comes in, because when it comes in, it's like, what are you going to do? Like, you're going to freak out about it, or are you going to just be like, okay, I knew I wanted this. Like for example, if you're like, oh, I want to be married one day, and so then if that person proposes to you tomorrow after you've been together for 2 years, are you really ready for marriage? Or is that something that you've just been pondering and playing with, like the idea of it, but haven't really thought about it, like how much it requires? So Spirit is saying like, make sure that you're ready for whatever you're asking for. So just be ready for it, because that shift is about to happen. And the saying like, be careful what you wish for, because you just might get it. That's literally what that is. So just be open to what you wish for, because it can be delivered in many ways you've never imagined, but also at any time. So I just wanted to share that really quickly. So in terms of the first half of the pile, so like the first half of you that might connect with this part, I sense there's a need of an apology and accountability has to happen in order for this progress, in order for this progression for the connection. And it's not that what happened was, ridiculous or crazy, but it was significant enough to warrant an acknowledgement and a change in behavior, if that makes sense. So what's intriguing about it is how, what's intriguing about this pile, especially with these two cards, how I mentioned earlier, they're from the same scene, is that an apology was made, acceptance of responsibility for past actions were made, and then there was that proposal. And even though the proposal was card is from a different scene, from a different show. He's proposing in this moment. I don't know if you can really tell, but like her hand is out and he has her hand in his hand, and it took steps to get to that proposal and to her to finally say yes, right? And you know, this relationship holds the potential for a marriage, but there are certain discussions that must happen beforehand. And I detect a remark or like some type of comment that it may have hurt somebody's feelings unintentionally, right? And so due to the lack of attentiveness and, you know, just being mindful of like what was said, it landed poorly. And you know, perhaps that person grew up in an environment where gentleness wasn't emphasized, leading to sometimes aggressive tone that isn't meant to be hostile, but it can be perceived that way. And you know, I think about it like this, like for example, some people, like some men, have very deep voices, and to some people that's very attractive, like it sounds like heaven to them. But for some people it can be alarming, it can be a little scary sometimes, even if they're like, they don't have to yell or anything. It could just be like, because of the tone of their voice, naturally when they say certain things, it might come off as insensitive or as aggressive or as like scary. Like there could be kids that could be afraid of like that voice because it just sounds not necessarily unusual, but it's like the tone of it, it's just different. Like imagine someone with a high-pitched voice. If they're like, you know, telling you that they're mad and that they're annoyed with you, you might not take it as serious, or you might like laugh, or you know, it might not land as if like, oh, that person's really upset with me. But it's someone with a natural deep, you know, voice that has a lot of bass, and they're like, I'm upset, but it's a lot of bass and, you know, depth to it. It can be scary, it can be intimidating, and that could be the voice of this person, or like sometimes just how things land, because they're not used to the gentleness, or they don't even know like how their words, like their word delivery at times. And it's not saying like they're careless, it's just more so they're accustomed to how they have, you know, to their environment and like how people talk to them, and so they kind of just do the same thing, so they don't really think twice about like how they say it, or you know, the tone of it. I mean, you can take the tone differently at anything. Well, like for example, if someone texts you hi, if they never text you hi, they always text you like other things, you might receive it as, oh, they're upset with me, oh, they got an attitude, oh, they're mad, or they're sad, or like, you know, something's off. And they could literally be like, I just text hi because I just want to say hi, I didn't want to say hey, instead I wanted to say hi today. But it's all about the delivery sometimes, and how the person receives it. So it can go both ways, but delivery is really important, especially when it comes to expressing like strong feelings and, you know, issues. I feel like once this serious conversation occurs and that accountability is established, progress is likely. Like progress will definitely happen. There's a shift towards like a gentle form of communication and a more romantic approach. And you might even see that just like how they show up on dates, and even, you know, how they might propose to you, because they received that earlier feedback. However, if that conversation and accountability are never addressed, it basically could spell the end of the connection, as it's significant to address these issues, right? Because they require attention, and you have to be okay with letting go, because if they can't speak up now and hold themselves accountable, then it shows you how things will go in the future of this, like, you know, in terms of this connection, this relationship. And it doesn't matter how long you've known them or how invested you were. Like, if it doesn't get resolved, it's time to walk away. And it may be like this bittersweet moment. You see how like she's crying but she's smiling, and you have to just be willing to stand up for yourself and for your wants and your needs. And it's okay to walk away if that apology doesn't happen, because in this like series of episodes, you know, the man didn't propose the way that he should have proposed the first time. It was just very like lackluster. Like, you know what, you basically were pulling my leg and telling me, not pulling my leg, you were basically like, you know, holding me by the neck, telling me we need to get married, so we're gonna just get married. Are you happy, basically? And she was just like, you know what, that's not the type of proposal I deserve. If that's how you feel about this, I'm walking away. And she left. And, you know, at some point they were able to reconnect, and he realized, like, wait a minute, that wasn't how I should have handled that situation, handled that proposal. And he was aggressive in the first proposal. Like, he was annoyed, and it showed. He wasn't like, you know, calling her names and anything crazy, but it was just like his delivery was poor. And then when he actually proposed the second time, his delivery was so much better. It was gentle, it was romantic, it was authentic, and it was emotional. And so what Spirit is saying is that if the person you are with currently was the one that like said something that was kind of mean or hurtful or just didn't land it right, and it, you know, really, it stung you in a way, they need to apologize and be accountable for what they said and how they said it, because it definitely impacted the dynamic of the relationship. And so I feel that with this connection, that needs to happen in order for it to progress into something, you know, long lasting. And earlier when I first got the cards, I was like, it's very interesting like how this is telling a story. So we have justice, we have healing, and we have the Daughter of Wands. So that kind of speaks to this portion of the group. When you walk away, it's going to be bittersweet if you have to walk away, but that healing that it is going to do is going to be transformative. And the Daughter of Wands, she's okay with exploring, she's okay with trying another connection, putting herself out there, and that might be the next thing that happens. You know, of course, if this doesn't go the way that we, you know, intended for it to go, with the accountability, the conversation, all of that stuff. So I just wanted to say that for that particular half of the pile. The other half of the pile, this one's pretty like short and sweet, but I get the second half of you maybe in the initial phases with this person, possibly just meeting or starting to date them. So this is kind of like on this side of it, where there's a sense that this person has expressed interest in you, and so like you're in the beginning phases of it. I do get that they want to spend quality time with you and just really kind of get a deeper sense of the connection. And like you personally, they like you a lot, and they're intentional about dating and seeking long-term commitment, displaying like this high level of maturity and seriousness, not like in a stale way, but more so like, I know what I want and I'm not playing games about it anymore. So while they have their fun, their focus now is on something genuine and lasting. I would say expect like consistent dates with this person, whether in person or through video calls. Like they're showcasing their commitment with you by consistently courting you. So if it's like, if you all live in the same city together, you're going on a date once a week, like whether it's physically going on a date or, you know, virtually having a date, because I know sometimes schedules can be kind of busy, kind of hectic, but them showcasing their commitment and their, you know, attention to detail and their interest in you is top tier. And it seems like this relationship appears to have a promising, you know, path based on the efforts and your receptive attitude of it. And there might, I get this vibe that they might be the one that falls in love first because they're open and ready. But I also sense like you might take a little bit longer to fully embrace their feelings and just like how beautiful the connection is. But eventually you're going to realize like they're sincere and they're committed and they mean business, and it's for real. It's not for play. But with that being said, don't force yourself to like be open immediately if you feel like there is some parts of you that you still got to work through. But also don't push them away when they're genuinely trying to be nice and to, you know, and kind and just loving on you and respecting you. Like, don't push them away. Like, be honest about it. Like, hey, this is something I'm working through, but I want you to know I do appreciate all the effort that you're putting into this connection, because you don't want to push them away and then they're like, you know what, you're not appreciating me, you're not loving me, or, you know, like you're not showing that you're interested, so I'm gonna just let it go, I'm gonna just walk away from this. And then you're like, damn it, I just missed a really great person because I was too afraid to speak up or to just let them know like I'm working through something. So that is what I have for that part of the pile. But overall, there is, you know, some good energy here and a good shift that's going to happen. But take the messages that apply. Of course, leave the ones that don't apply. But I do see a good vibe, a good sense of commitment for a lot of you, and like that next level of commitment, and obviously the proposal for a lot of those that are in the relationship currently. And you know, it's getting to that point where it's getting serious, and the conversations have been had about marriage. And if you haven't had a conversation about marriage and that you know that's something you want, definitely have that conversation because it's significant. Okay. But yeah, this is what I have for this pile. I hope that you all enjoyed your reading and that it resonated with you. Please leave a comment below, thumbs up the video, and check out other videos on my channel. As always, I appreciate that love and the support, and I wish you all the best.